But I really want to bring us to practicalities. So we all agree there was something happened 2,000 years ago. This group of people left a certain path, a certain attitude, a certain right connection, as Kabbalah defines it. They left a certain path, and that brought about a whole range of issues in the world that we see it in cultures and politics, every area of human endeavor. We then also talked about, you mentioned that love is that principle of the divine in action, whatever the name we attach to it, doesn't matter, but that is that governing principle. Kabbalah speaks about it, Christianity speaks about it. The question is now, what is the solution? What can we practically do tomorrow? People will see this talk tomorrow. I want to hear from both of you, so I want us to give time for each. What is the practical solution for this problem, for this impasse? How do we bring the world to experience this principle of love in practice? Again, I'm thinking of the typical average viewer. I'm not religious, I'm not philosophical. I live my life. I want a better world. I have a feeling that the Jews have something to do with it. What do we do next? What is the solution? Who wants to start? Please go ahead.
I would just like to say that the church, the Catholic Church, was in this position when the Roman Empire collapsed. They realized that the Jews were not going to go away. They were not going to convert. They had to have some type of modus vivendi with the Jews. And the answer to this was a doctrine called Sicut Judaeus Non. This is basically a two-part doctrine that was basically the teaching of the church on the Jews for 1,500 years. On the one hand, no one has the right to harm the Jew. No one has a right to disrupt the Jews' religious services. No one has a right to desecrate the Jewish cemeteries. On the other hand, the Jew has to respect the culture of Christian countries and does not have a license to destroy their culture, to ridicule your faith and undermine their morals. Okay, this was a more or less successful modus vivendi that lasted for 1,500 years. It lasted in the United States up until 1965. Okay, when the Jews broke the code in Hollywood. At this point, the country was inundated with pornography, and we have had, the result was a disruption of the social order. I'm saying that if I said this in Iran, I was in Mashhad, there was Rabbi David Weiss of Neturei Karta. He doesn't like Israel, but whatever that, I said, if the Jews followed the Torah, there would be no problem. The Jews are in rebellion against the Torah. This is these revolutionary movements that are causing disruption throughout the world. They have more power than they've had ever in human history. They have power to disrupt your culture, and that is going to cause problems. So I'm saying if we take a step back to this traditional modus vivendi, I think we could both get along much better.
So you're saying, so before we go to Dr. Laitman, you're saying a sort of a restoration of this mutual agreement between the different religious views, let's say, a restoration of certain moral codes, which for me, it sounds, morals are very much geographical, relative, but let's say there was some sort of an agreement that we can all agree on. We say, okay, I will respect you, you will respect me. This is what I like to do, this is what you like to do. Let's not get into each other's space, and then we'll be friends. So this is your kind of solution to the issue. This will make the world less hostile to Jews and bring the world to a more peaceful state right now, according to you?
I'm saying the Jews have to break their addiction to revolutionary politics. Messianic.
Is there a revolution rehab somewhere that we can all...
We will work on a 12-step program for the revolutionary Jews.
Okay, Dr. Laitman, what is your practical solution?
First of all, I completely agree with my friend, and I would like to see a great revolution happening among Jews. And you're right, they should forget about Hollywood and other dirty businesses that they're dealing with and engaged in. I agree with him in that respect, that this isn't the right path, and the world suffers from it, and Jews themselves. However, the hatred towards the Jews is not because since 1960 or 65 they started occupying Hollywood, etc. We also can talk about the Crusades and the times when Jews were murdered and burnt and killed from country to country to country, Spain, Portugal, England, Germany, all those European countries, the ghettos they lived in, etc. All of that, you know, it's as if it just went by. I'm not, let's just put it aside. Let's not get into all of those negative, those things, those harsh things we went through under the authority of the Holy Church. Let's talk about today. I disagree with the Jews. Believe me, that's true. I also don't agree with the Christians, and I also don't agree with the Muslims. I don't agree with all of them. Why? Because all of them simply reside within the human ego, meaning that they're only operated, each and every nation is operated by their human ego, which means they have their own God, their own Messiah, their own messenger, which really originates in the distorted human perception. What I'm talking about is nature. We know that nature, the more you study it, the more you see that it's all interconnected. It's an integrated, interdependent system, meaning that all elements and all parts of nature are needed, necessary, and they're connected to each other and in some way contributing to each other. We can see this on the still level of nature, the animate level of nature, and so on, besides the human. Because the human follows not just egoistic instincts, but also, in addition to what's happened to those instincts, that ego is developing, it's evolving. And from generation to generation, that ego is willing to destroy what happened before, what existed before. And that's, by the way, is besides the Jews. It's happening everywhere. Meaning that throughout the world, the human ego needs to be restrained. It needs to be corrected. That, I think, is where we can find consensus. The human ego is the driving force that distorts our life, that breaks down society. Now the question is, how can we do that? I'm saying there is a method. That method can be referred to as love covers all those egoistic crimes. For that, we have to put aside all of the kinds of messiah and the kinds of religions and the kinds of doctrines. Look at what's happening in Europe between the Muslims and the Christians there. You could say that it's driven by the Jews also, but it doesn't matter. If we want to find wholeness, find peace, find greater connection and common humanity, then we have to follow something else, something that Kabbalah explains, which, by the way, all the Jews disagree with, because they are indeed more egoistic than the rest of the world. If you look deeper online at what's written about me, you'll see a lot of criticism, a lot of cursing happening from Jews against me in a horrible way. Why? Because they don't want to initiate that connection. And that's why the world even subconsciously hates them. But it's not because of this or that Messiah. It's because they do hold the key to human happiness, to a better life for all of humanity through higher human connection. And they don't use and reveal the method. And most of the Jews themselves don't even know about this. Only us, meaning the people who engage in the wisdom of Kabbalah, which is the authentic, original nature coming from Adam HaRishon, the one who wrote the first book of the wisdom of Kabbalah. It's called Raziel HaMalach. Then Abraham, who wrote the book of creation, which is also a Kabbalistic book. These books were written before the Bible. So no one agrees with the Kabbalists. I'm talking only from the side of the Kabbalists, as a representative of Kabbalah only. And I'm saying this, the key to a better future of the world exists only in that ancient method of Kabbalah, and it's hidden in the people of Israel, the Jews, who we don't even know about it, possessed by the Kabbalists. This method has to be extracted, revealed, publicized, so that all people can learn how to connect by the principle of love thy friend as thyself. And no method is doing that. Show me, please. Show me where the Christians, or whether it's the Catholics or the Protestants or whatever, show me where they do it. Show me where they realize it daily and consciously. Show me where the Muslims are doing that. Show me where the Jews are doing that. No one is working on that. No one, meaning the method of human connection, universal method of human connection, no one wants to do that. Why? Because the human ego prevents that. And rising above the ego, overcoming the human ego, is something we don't want. So we need to practice the method of overcoming the human ego, which means connecting above all differences. It doesn't matter what Messiah each one believes in. Above all differences, above all egoistic differences, we have to unite. And then we will discover a higher level of reality, which we're in right now. It's just hidden from us. We will discover that we live in a world that godliness is here. The upper force is right here. It is a force of connection, connecting and driving all of nature. And then we will become a part of nature rather than being opposite to nature.